Hello everyone, welcome back to another week here on Eat Sleep Reef channel. Thank you very much for joining us, and this week we're actually going to be sharing a local reefer, Casey Reef. This guy, I love his channel, I love what he does, great guy, and I was able to head down. He lives a bit south of me here in Southern California, so I was able to head out down to his place. He told me, Antonio, anytime you're in the area, I'd love for you to swing by, check out my tank. Now, this is a guy that really never posts any pictures of his tank, so when I was able to go down, I was very amazed, and I'm sure you're amazed. He has a great selection of fish in this beautiful tank. Not only that, tons of coral. I really love the mushrooms he had, but all in all, looks like a very well kept, clean tank that I think a lot of us will probably want to have. He is powering this tank with Blaze Illumagics. These are the same lights I run. Obviously, he just has 3 of them. He is running the Vitamini strip you can see here in the back. I want to say, and don't quote me on this, but this tank is about 100, maybe 120 gallons. I didn't actually ask him, so I'm guessing, but I know, I'm almost positive it's at least over 100 gallons. So that just goes to show you that 3 Blaze Illumagics does more than enough job to obviously keep the corals happy. It was very cool to see all the types of fish. You know, there's just so much life in this tank. I could literally sit back and watch this tank really infinitely. But yeah, it was great talking about. I think one thing I really enjoy, guys, about this hobby, it's how so many different people achieve success. I mean, just look at the colors on these shrooms here, guys. I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of a close-up a little bit later, but the colors he's really able to get out of these tanks is, not out of these tanks, out of these corals, is really nice. Another thing I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of his euphyllias in here, frog spawns and so on, you can get a little bit of a closer look on them here. They're all very puffy. I always, not always, but I tend to have a little bit difficult time keeping euphyllias in my 45 gallon. So I always like to question people what they do, their feeding regimen, so on and so forth. So yeah, his feeding regimen, he does feed, you know, not super heavy, but he does feed often. I believe he doesn't do too much of spot feeding from what I asked him, but it's just very cool to see how you're able to achieve different levels of success in this reef tank. You know, we a lot of times hear certain people mention how they maintain their reefs, and a lot of times we try to emulate that, copy it, implement it. I think at the end of the day, we always tend to do a full circle, really realizing that all it takes, guys, is consistency. You know, keep on your water changes, you know, do that. Obviously, if you're not doing water changes, make sure you're dosing the right supplements that are obviously being consumed in the reef tank. But at the end of the day, guys, all corals want is consistency. And I think, again, it gets repeated to me over and over and over and proven to me. And really the way it's proven is how different people are able to really use different methods, different salts, different lights, different this, different power heads. I mean, different everything. But at the end of the day, they're able to achieve this level of beauty. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would not whatsoever mind having a reef tank as beautiful as this in my home. So you can get another look here of the light. You can see the Vitamini. He's only running 1 Vitamini strip on it. You can obviously run 2 of them. He felt 1 was more than enough in this reef tank. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel for the type of coral he has, it's more than enough light. They look very happy. You can see a shot of the frog spawns. And again, you can really see how I told you guys how they're really, really fluffy. I think the key to this, guys, 1 is consistency, but 2, not having too much flow. If you see his corals, there's not that much flow. Here's on the right side, these are, I don't even know what the name of these are. I just know I want them. So Casey, if you're watching this video, save me one of those green guys there right in the middle, bro. I'd love to have one of these in the new tank. But yeah, so I want to thank Casey for inviting me over. And also last week, guys, I literally have a gem in my backyard. Not physically in my backyard, but I don't know if you old-time reefers, or even you guys that have been in the reefing time for a little bit, I'm sure you guys are aware of a guy named Bill Schroer, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. he is an OG of reefing. He is an actual collector that would go overseas and collect corals and bring different species, different colonies into this hobby. He would, very much like Jason Fox and those guys, he was kind of an innovator to really bringing in pieces that a lot of us had never seen. So guys, believe it or not, I found out this guy is 10 to 15 minutes away from my house. Oh, I mean, just look at this eye candy, guys. I can stare at this forever. I had the privilege of being invited over, and I didn't know, but he actually sells all of this. He sells from his garage. Very beautiful pieces. You can see some elegance. Again, frog spawns, euphyllias. I mean, just leathers in this tank. But one tank I was really amazed by is this. I wouldn't say it's 100% SPS, but it's very SPS dominant. You can see a bunch of frog spawn, and I think there were some hammers down there as well. Colony, you can see here. This is how he does his algae management, nitrates and phosphates. He let me know he doesn't run any GFO. It's all done in that refugium. And you see kind of the left side of the tank is kind of some softies, some torches, frog spawns, and so on. But the right side, guys, has tons, and I mean tons, of SPS sticks. I got to talk to this guy, and honestly, I wouldn't do no justice from what he shared with me. So if you guys do like this, I plan on bringing him on an episode in the future. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to hear this guy talk about his methods. If you heard his methods, guys, and how he does it, you'd be blown away. He was showing me pictures while I was there on the growth of these SPS pieces. I couldn't believe it, guys. I really couldn't. The way he's able to get the growth out of these corals and just sharing so much. You can imagine a person like that, how much knowledge they have to share. So if you guys do want to see him on an episode, I'd love to interview him. I'd love for him to just talk about all his experiences, all his stories. He did a lot of diving in the Solomon Islands, I believe, and he would actually collect the corals and bring them back. And it's just, his story is beyond amazing. If you Google him, you'll quickly figure out that he's an innovator and just a great part of this hobby. But yeah, guys, I want to say thank you very much for Casey to having me over. Thank you very much for Bill. More importantly, shoot, I have this guy in my backyard, literally. I get to visit him and pick his brain. I was super excited. So yeah, guys, let me know if in the future you guys would like me to interview him, like for him to talk about his system, what he does, and his experiences, and maybe some tips for all of us. I think even, I can get something from it. I know for a fact I could. I'm sure you guys could as well. So we're going to leave this video here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this eye candy. Again, thank you very much, KC Reef. Be sure, guys, to give him a follow on YouTube and Instagram. And my boy Bill as well. He doesn't right now have a website. I'm actually helping him to get his social media going. Because I told him, dude, you have to have social media. I really want people to be able to contact you and directly order from you. Because what he has is just truly amazing. So we're going to leave this video here, guys. I thank you very much for watching. As always, happy reefing.